Let's crank it and see what it does. So I just wanted to share something a little interesting that I've had to deal with for the last few days. This is an 02 GMC Sierra 2500 with the Duramax. It came in crank no start. When it originally came in, we had fuel pressure. The fuel pressure was extremely high on the high side. And I checked injection pulse. I had no pulse out of the FICM to the injectors. So what I did is I verified all my powers, grounds, the FICM. There's 2 column lines, checked the column lines, those are good. Engine speed was good, so we had to put an FICM in it so I can continue my testing because I had no output on the high side. So this is the tester FICM. I know you're not supposed to run it with no fuel in it. The truck doesn't run, so it doesn't matter. You just don't want to cook it. I have good fuel vacuum, good fuel pressure. I have no leaks at the fuel filter housing, which is really common on this. I have good cam, good crank signal. I even pulled both sensors out, the cam and the crank, and checked the towing rings, make sure they weren't loose. They're not loose. I scoped them, made sure that they were in time. Everything looks good mechanically. The engine sounds perfectly fine cranking. It doesn't sound like it has no compression. Doesn't sound like the maybe something happened with the cam and the crank timing. I have no codes. So what we did is we pulled the glow plug out and crank it over with the glow plug out. There's no fuel coming out of the cylinder, out of the glow plug hole. So what we did is we put this together, beautiful piece of work. This is an old injector that we had, a core, and then one of the fuel lines, and I jumped it into one of the injector drivers on the injection harness, and as you can see, we have fuel now. So the one thing that I did notice is the fuel down deep in the cylinder hole, because the tube ends are really long. You can see right here, this is what goes down through the valve cover and feeds the injector. The fluid is really murky. It looks like swamp water. And when I pulled the fuel filter out, the fuel looked okay, but there was definitely a little bit of water in there. I tried flushing the system out with fresh fuel, but it still wouldn't run. So that's what led us to this. So basically at this point, all the injectors are gonna have to come out. The injection pump's gonna have to come out. The rails, the lines, everything's gonna have to be taken apart and cleaned. We're gonna send everything out and have it checked. And yeah, definitely a very, very, very interesting one. This is definitely the most time I've ever had to spend on one of these. We kept chasing my tail. Even you give it a little bump of ether, it still wouldn't, it would start. I don't like doing that, but it would start, run, and then die. It wouldn't continuously run. There's no exhaust restriction, there's no intake restriction. You know, it's just a crazy case. But as you can see, we have good injection driving now. We have the fuel pressure to push the fuel through the injector to be able to create the mist. And the mist looks really good. It looks like a very good atomization. So I'll report back if we do that.